Welcome back. First of all, TJ, welcome. You're getting settled.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware, David is in his DJ Khaled matching sweatsuit today. It's
did the pants match too?
Oh.
That's not that bad. You kind of over-described it on the right.
He's in a powder blue matching sweatsuit.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a full-blown Gucci suit or something. That's just a sweatshirt.
No,
That ain't that bad.
Gucci down to the socks.
Like David fully patterned out. No. He looks like the Tennessee
Or
Entones.
like those Reebok sweatsuits with like the stripes on.
No, he didn't look like Team USA in 1990. So, look, I wanted to ask you is, first of all, I want to start on a good foot. TJ always thinks I break his balls when he walks in.
What do you mean think?
I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something that TJ was ahead of, Rico. Mm-hmm. Nobody else was talking about it. I don't think anyone's been as right as Mr. Thomas John Lang. Bob Muhammad is a good football player.
Al-Qadin.
Whatever.
You're close.
That is your guy. And now all I think of when I watch Lions games and I see Pete Muhammad come out there making a play, I go, TJ's boy. He's actually good.
Impactful. Yeah.
Yeah. Credit to you.
Yeah. Well, not credit to me. I think he made some. I'm trying to remember the first game. Was it Indy? Maybe. I think he had a couple nice plays or a bunch of pressures.
But you were on it before anyone.
I mean, look, I think, and you can throw him in the big pool of every other player that's been brought in the last 3 weeks.
I feel like you're related.
Where do these guys come from?
You got to be related to Pat O'Connor. That just sounds like a dude that's
old
from your
Irish
family
man.
tree.
Yeah, he is. He's a grinder. Those Eastern guys, man. You know what they're made of. You know.
Yeah, 5 and 7. All right.
Okay, we're talking about individually, but no, you're right. I mean, but it's since even last week. I mean, it was insane. First of all, it feels like that game was forever ago.
A month ago.
There was one point you're looking at the defense and you're like,
I don't know.
there's like 6, 7 guys that weren't even here 3 weeks ago. You know, and they're going out there and still performing for the most part admirably. I know they let up, the 31 points, but a couple short fields mixed in that Green Bay game. But they had guys
14 points. Yeah,
dude, it's insane, man. They just plug and play, and bringing in the right guys and the coaching staff getting them ready, and the leaders in that locker room. I think the one thing when you come into that building is the expectations are very clear. Every role that you're supposed to have is very well defined. Like there's no room for egos, diva, whatever you want to call it. You're here for a reason. This is what's going to be expected out of you. And they get guys to, I don't want to say fall in line, but they get guys to buy into that. And, of course, it's easier when you're 12-1 and you're riding an 11-game win streak.
But, TJ, I like the fact that they can bring in a guy, and they'll tell you, you're here for this specific reason. That's all we need you to do is this. You're third down specialist. You're this. You're going to rush the back. You're just going to stop the run on first and second down, and that's it. We're going to bring you out. We're going to put somebody else in. We're going to keep it going. Yeah, I like that. And you're right. They're bought in.
And it's
they don't quit on the field.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Like some people do.
That was wild. Even last night it happened again. My goodness.
Why are you bringing this up? Because now he's been in a bad mood all day. He's pouting.
I would too. I mean,
come on.
Right? I mean,
guy goes to the Super Bowl every year. To hell with his needs. I'm a 16-point underdog to the Ravens. What about my feelings?
You're not getting any sympathy from me either. But no, you're right. I think the more clear you can identify what's exactly expected out of you. And you see your superstars doing it too. I mean, Amon-Ra can go out there, have one catch for 7 yards. He doesn't give a damn. He's out there grinding his ass off, throwing blocks.
He doesn't pull an A.J. Brown.
Right, there's none of that. And I think that the rest of the team, new guys especially, you see that. And that is it's contagious, right? That type of effort, that type of attitude is contagious. And I think it allows you to, when you do have the new pieces brought in, it allows them to get up to speed a lot faster. Rather than if you're, just an average team and you throw a bunch of pressure at a guy, hey, we need you, you got to be the difference maker. You know what I mean? Like they don't do it that way, which I think benefits the players. And of course we've seen it benefit the team.
Now, that being said, it looks like we're going to get some more defensive players back on the D-line. Sounds like 4 at least probably are going to be leaning towards playing.
We need more Aquadine.
Dan Campbell last week, I do think when it came down to fourth down, he was looking like –
sounded like a swim school.
It's Aquadine Muhammad. You just said Aquadine.
I think it's A-L.
Listen, that's why I say Pete. It's Pete.
Not Aqua.
His friends call him Pete. Pete
Sounds
Muhammad.
like a toothpaste.
I'm sorry. He's good.
Aquadine.
He's good. Almondine.
You good? We good now?
A nice minty fresh taste. Aquadine.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, man, that was good.
Less going forward on fourth down now that you got some of your defensive players back. Dan Campbell.
No.
Dan Campbell. You know what? Get this. Just stop drinking that. You got enough caffeine in you.
I didn't have any.
Something's wrong with something's in you right now.
Because I'm here. Go ahead.
Better enjoy those before RFK Jr. bans the Red Bull so they're not healthy for
You're
you.
taking these away?
I don't know.
No. Rico, what were you saying?
We've lost Kevin. David, we got any ticket tags?
What's your favorite matching sweatsuit? 248. No, please.
I hear what you're saying, though. Can you afford to be
Are we going to see more?
less-
Okay, you know what? Let's kick the field goal. Let's punt the ball. We don't need to go for it because some of my guys are back on defense. Because last game he said, "Hey, I didn't know half of these players. I wasn't going to trust the defense out on the field. We're just going to keep going for it and going for it and going for it until we won the game."
I don't think it was you're not going to trust those guys, but you don't want to throw too much
Well,
pressure
not
on
trust
them. You know
them,
what I mean?
but it's.
Yeah,
I think he had more faith in the
our
offense.
offense is the powerhouse right now. Our defense is beat up. Offense, that was very clear going into that game. You guys are going to have to score some points, right? Good question, though. Will they be less aggressive? I don't know, because Dan Campbell has kind of told us, and he's shown us who he is. In the last couple of weeks, he's already told his guys and told everybody, we're in playoff mode. You know what I mean? I want my guys to feel like what the situation is when we're facing a big 4th and 1 and we have to have it. There's a good chance you get into the playoffs, you're going to have to make some of those plays. So the more reps you can bank during the regular season to where you can revert back and say, okay, yeah, remember that Green Bay game, guys, right? We messed it up a couple times, but we got it right. How did we get it right? Okay, this is what we did. Those reps are valuable to when you're going to have it in a win-or-go-home type game in the playoffs. But this week, maybe you're going to need touchdowns. I mean, you look at the opponent you're facing in Buffalo and their offense and what they're capable of. They're number 2 right behind you when it comes to scoring points. So I can see Dan Campbell going in there and maybe, I don't want to say not trust his defense, but maybe put more pressure on his offense and give them more opportunities to score touchdowns, because you're not going to beat the Bills settling for field goals. You're not going to beat the Bills, settling for a punt at the 50-yard line. Could I go without maybe some of them at your own 30?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Especially depending on the game. I think that was really the one that a lot of us were like, okay, maybe a little unnecessary. But, and Rico, we talked about it last Friday, man. Like, his team knows exactly what they're getting from their coach, right? And there was a lot of, this past weekend listening to, I think Teddy Bruschi was on there.
How the hell with him?
I don't want to play for him because I don't know what he's going to do. BS, you know exactly what Dan Campbell's going to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's why the players love it so much, because they know exactly. They would be confused if all of a sudden you started punting the ball on 4th and 1 or kicking long field goals. Like, wait, this isn't who we are. This is our identity, man. Like, this is where we bury teams, right?
It seems like the opposite, because anybody who's played any type of football game, you want to always go for it. You always think, Coach, we can get this.
Can get it. Yeah.
Guys, it's 4th and 13. We got it. We got that play, though. And he's saying, okay, you believe in yourself. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ben, draw up the play. Let's get this done. I would think that any football player would buy into that and say, absolutely.
You do.
Because every time you're just looking, it's almost like the thumbs up or thumb. Hey, we're going for it. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what,
cool.
it builds chemistry, and I'll tell you what it does is, from a player standpoint, it gives you ownership. You know what I mean? Like, there's no going back and saying, man, I wish, gosh, we should have gone for it on that 4th down. Okay, you want to go for it? Go for it, but you're going to own it, right? You know what I mean? As a player, you'd rather have that than going in the meeting room Monday watching the film like, man, like, Coach, I don't know what he's doing. You'd rather just be the guy to step up. Hey, if it fails, hey, you know what, Coach?
If it
it's
fails,
on
we
me,
ship
right?
you
You
off
take
to Denver.
ownership, but what does that do? It gives you a little bit more pressure, which a lot of these guys, man, they perform at an even higher rate when they are under those high pressure situations. So I like the fact that he's throwing these guys into some of these situations, because we all know, like I mentioned, playoff football, guaranteed you're going to face a 4th down that's going to make or break that game and make or break your season. So the more reps you can bank up now, I think the better off you're going to be down the line.
What fans don't get to do. To hell with the national media, because I'm convinced they don't watch this team. Fans don't get to cry if it doesn't work. This is who you are. It's why you're here.
100%.
Live by it, die by it. And let me ask you this question. Biggest mismatch in this game to me is your offensive line, now that it's healthy and whole, versus an undersized and, frankly, not a great front for Buffalo. Is this a game where the Lions really pound the football? Especially, Bills are decimated with injuries at their safety level. I wanted your take on it as a former lineman.
Yeah.
Is this your frothing at the mouth to get after it this week?
I think so. I mean, they've got some good players like Ed Oliver is solid. Greg Rousseau is pretty good coming off the edge.
Yep.
But you're right. I think I look at that front seven, and especially the Bills play like 98% of their defensive personnel in either nickel or dime. They've got little guys on the field. If you're the Lions, you're looking at that like, Jared, have fun handing the ball off
I'm
today.
looking
Right?
at-
Like, we'll get some play actions
And
in,
again,
but we should be
spread
pounding
them
this
out,
Yeah.
play their game knowing your 5 is better than their 4.
Yeah.
You're getting a 5 or 6 man box. Oh, Ben Johnson is gonna pre-snap candy them to death.
Right. And that's always the quarrel that I think a lot of defensive coordinators are in when you face the Lions. And we saw it benefit them last week on 2 of the touchdowns in particular. You know, the Jahmyr Gibbs route out of the backfield, the Lions throw 3 tight ends out there. Amon-Ra wasn't even on the field. What did Green Bay do? They matched personnel with 6 D linemen and 3 linebackers. You got a one-on-one with your running back against the line. You know what I mean? So that's I think it's such a difficult spot on opposing offenses because it's like, great, you want to stack the box and take away, the running game? Watch this. Amon-Ra, one-on-ones. J-Mo, one-on-ones, right? You want to play light boxes?
Buffalo plays man.
They do. You want to play light boxes? Go get a heavy dose of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The offensive line, certainly it's going to help getting Decker back, which I think is trending in the right direction this week.
Yeah.
Right? I know we'll get a final report here in about an hour, but
Felt that way.
they're going to have to take a step forward because I think coming out of that Green Bay game, that was the one, I don't want to say bad part, but the one that was not up to the standard was the run game, right? We didn't see Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery really they weren't really able to cook in that game against Green Bay. They're going to have to find a way this week to do it.
We have not won, Rico. Not 2, but 3 critical TJ Lane questions.
Well, you've missed the last couple Fridays. I knew they were stacking up somewhere.
I missed 1, but I got 3 of them. Here's the key. One of them is Lion related.
Lion.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to be a Lion issue.
Okay.
One of them is a your career issue.
Ooh.
And the other one is an origin story issue. So we have 3 of them for TJ today.
Well, I'm excited.
We're going to have fun with it.
Story time.
And if
Story time
you
with
guys have questions, Lions, Bills, you want to rap with Tej, go for it. 248-539-9797. Rico, be curious.